Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. I am Evil Mike, and I got another review for you. This is AfterShock Comics Beyond the Breach #1. It's done by Ed Brission and Damian Coucerio. Looks like Patricio, Delpeche, and Hassan, Otsmane-Elhaou. I know I mispronounced that one. And probably the other ones too. Maybe Ed Brission was the only one I got right. Man, what a great first read. Really quick. Art was stellar. The story and pacing, I just mentioned, is really quick. But basically, in a nutshell, I mean, I've heard it called post-apocalyptic blah blah blah. It's not. It is kind of Stephen King's The Mist. A portal or breach per se has opened up in California mysteriously, and now it is just letting these creatures, as you can see on the cover, roam wild. Story sets up in Cooks Valley, California, as said here on the first page. But we are with I don't know her name. You know, guys, I'm so good with names. No, I'm really bad with names. But anyways, we have this lady right here, and she has just broken up with her boyfriend. She has recently been in the hospital dealing with her mother, who has recently passed away with cancer. It's not stated, I don't think, what cancer. But while she was in the hospital, her fiance and her sister got a little busy, you know, while she was taking care of her mother. So she's kind of pissed, and she went out and bought plane tickets and flew to San Francisco, and now is renting a car. And she stated that she ordered a bunch of porn and had it paid for on his mom's credit card, you know. So she got some comeuppance. On this first page, it sets up the whole story. I mean, 1, 2, bam, you're ready to go. Because right here, if you look down here at the bottom, she is driving, having a good time, trying to clear her head of everything that's been going on. And all of a sudden, this crazy art stuff happens, and basically what happens is she falls asleep. And they show you right here, this is why I say crazy art stuff, because they show the car and it gets into an accident, but it's like hyperlighted, or highlighted, you know, but it's hyperlighted because it, you know, they show the scene in the background, and then they show like the car in the foreground. It's basically the breach. The breach just appeared. You could see it, you know, in the background, in the skies over here, because that's the road that she was traveling down. And you can see the blackness in space and planets and dimensions all of a sudden, you know, in the sky around her. When she comes to, her car, of course, you know, it's gone. As you can see over here, you know, she was in the car accident. It wasn't some kind of dream or anything. And she wakes up, and I mean, not only is the car just, you know, messed up, but she's pretty messed up as well. She is able to move around, and automatically she starts looking around, and there are other people screaming for help. And just like in The Mist, there are some insect monster type things and some other creatures that have came through the breach, and they are hungry, and they are instantly grabbing, you know, people and eating them, as shown here. She does try to try to attack one of the insect-looking alien monster things. Let's just call them insects for now. But you know, at first it looked like he's gonna get scared away. You know, common insect. Nope. He grows wings and comes after her. She kind of hides for like a second, goes around the corner, and she encounters this, and it's just more, you know, the insect monsters eating different people. She says in high fashion, "Oh no, you know, a kid stuck in a car." Of course, there's a kid stuck in a car. It is little Dougie. I remember his name, but she runs, and she is trying to save little Dougie. We do see some of these creatures. They're like right here by the car. There are several of these guys that are like running around, and at first I thought they were part of the insect monster thing that was going down. Somehow they're kind of the opposite. They're actually trying to help the people, and they're trying to attack the creatures with. They have these sticks, and the sticks somehow kind of have a stun ability, like lightning or electricity comes out of it. You can see right here that they are enemies. I did not notice the first read, but as I was re-looking at it right here, specifically where I'm clicking, you can see that the insect monsters are going after the little monkey guys too. There's a reason that I kind of mentioned that, because, you know, as you can see right here, one of those little guys is with her. So she hops in the car with Dougie, as you can see over here, and she's trying to figure out how to, you know, get out of the situation or help the situation. Dougie's going nuts. His mom and dad were outside, and he wants his mommy and daddy. You know, at the same time, she's trying to, you know, get out of the situation. He's screaming at the top of his lungs. Eventually, she pushes him out of the car, and as she does, she runs by one of those little critters, and she grabs his little lightning stick, and she starts shocking some of the bugs. As you can see right here, one of the little guys, you know, he's kind of happy, and he seems like that was the right thing to do, and he gets her approval, you know, you know, something like that. So she ends up grabbing the little guy and Dougie, as shown over here, and they run to this little rest stop over here, trying to, you know, gather her thoughts and also gain shelter, that kind of thing. She's really looking for a phone. She's trying to call the cops. During, you know, I don't mention everything, but she has tried to pick up several different cell phones, and I mean, everything was just chaotic and broken, so none of the cell phones work. So, as well as getting shelter, she's also trying to communicate, trying to get some help. She goes into who Dougie is and what they were doing before the accident, now that they have a little breather moment. As you can see here, and Dougie just explains that his mom and dad and him were in a car. They were traveling, and all of a sudden they all fell asleep, and they woke up to, just like her, their car had been crashed, and the insect things were instantly all over mom and dad. It is left up in the air whether mom and dad has survived, but as far as we know, it didn't look like they survived. There were a whole bunch of other people in that scene that were being attacked by insects, but at this point we're going to give it the optimist, and we're going to say his mom and dad might still be out there. We see this little guy, and they name him Ka. He kind of says his name is Ka, but I think he was just making sound effects, because the woman does ask his name, and he's like, yeah! And the little girl asks, you know, the girl asks again, hey, what's your name? And the little boy, Dougie, he's all like, he said his name. His name was Ka, you know. So Ka, Dougie, and the girl that I can't remember her name, they were going through and kind of talking. She's still trying to calm down Dougie, you know, trying to like breach the facts that maybe his mom and dad are in fact dead. But before that happens, they start getting a knock at the door at the bathroom that they are in at the shelter, and because basically it's like a rest stop, and they are getting, you know, called out, like all of a sudden, you know, Dougie's getting his name, you know, and sentences after that, like, Dougie, are you there? And it's a man's voice, because Dougie's like, oh, Daddy's here. And then right after that, we hear Vanessa, which is her name, and it's her sister that's calling, Sarah. She kind of takes a second, and she takes off just like Dougie, because Dougie is already out the door, and Vanessa kind of connects, and she's like, wait a minute, she's not in California. And of course, it's not either her, you know, Dougie's parents, or you know, what was her name? I already forgot it. Vanessa's sister. No, it's this monster, and it's mimicking. You know, somehow it knows that to me that was kind of cool, that it knew how Vanessa's sister Sarah sounded, or Dougie's parents sounded, that it was able to trick. But we see right here that it not only tricks, but it was waiting for Dougie to come out, because right here it does go, you know, grab Dougie up in his tonguey thing, and yeah, basically the next scene just shows Dougie go bye-bye in Mr. Monster's mouth, and that's the end of the first issue. I'm hoping Dougie survives somehow, some way, but we do show her with the electric stick and Ka, and they're ready for action, so hopefully they are able to, you know, Dougie out of the mouth of this thing. Thoughts of the book? I loved it. It was a great read. It was really quick. It reminded me kind of a mix of like that scene in Jurassic Park, the first one, you know, where they're being hunted by the raptors and Samuel L. Jackson's with them, and that scene where Samuel L. Jackson just disappears. Yeah, that scene. It also reminded me a lot of The Mist, so, and I love that story. I love that movie. I really love the story behind the movie, so I'm hoping it's a lot more like that. I hope there's not a ton of religious stuff here like The Mist. Ed Brisson, if you watch this, please, no religious stuff. Just keep it monsters, and people trying to get away from the monsters. It sells so much better. You don't need the religious stuff involved. Man, if you find this, it just came out last week. I think the second issue comes out this week. I'm not positive on the second issue, but I know it's coming out soon. It's really fun. The art was stellar. You know, I mean, I can't talk enough. If I had to say, I'd say it was an 8. And the only reason 8 is because it wasn't anything like brand new or super, something I've never seen before. But regardless, it was still a great read. It's great art. I'm really looking forward to issue number 2. I'm glad Mr. Sif Lordley had recommended this book. I was really glad to read it and had a chance to review it. But that is Beyond the Breach, number 1 from AfterShock, and what a great job. If you have read it, tell me what you thought. If you liked it, that kind of stuff. If you didn't like it, why didn't you like it? You son of a... no, anyways, that's my review. Like, comment, subscribe, share. I'll be coming at you pretty soon with some more reviews. Y'all have a good one. Evo out.